Hello there, dear garden friends. It's so lovely to have you here. If your fence has seen better days, faded paint, empty panels, maybe a few cracks here and there, you're not alone. I've looked at mine and thought, surely it could be something more. Our gardens aren't just about flowers. They're about framing the beauty we grow, and sometimes, the plainest fences are the best places to start. So today, we're not just fixing fences, we're reimagining them. With creativity, kindness, and a little joy tucked into every tip. And just wait until tip number 7, it turns broken plates into a memory wall your grandkids will ask you about for years. You found your way to Golden Seniors Living, your cozy corner for gentle inspiration, where we turn everyday things into extraordinary garden stories. If you enjoy makeovers that soothe the soul and spark a little wonder, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. There's so much more blooming beauty ahead, and it's made just for you. Alright, let's get started. Tip 1, the shutter surprise. Still holding onto those old wooden shutters from the shed? Maybe they were meant for a window that's long gone, or maybe you just couldn't bring yourself to toss them. Well, here's your chance to give them a beautiful second life, right in your garden. Start by giving those shutters a good clean and a fresh coat of weather-resistant paint. Soft lavender, sage green, or even classic white works wonders. Then, stand them upright against your fence or mount them securely with brackets. The slats are perfect little ledges to nestle in small pots or attach miniature planters. Pop in cheerful blooms like petunias, marigolds, or trailing ivy. Even faux flowers can add a pop of color without the maintenance. You can also weave in solar fairy lights to twinkle through the slats at night. The magic? It lifts your garden upward, no bending, no digging, just an eye-level display of vintage charm. It's especially lovely for small spaces or those who want beauty without the backache. And here's the poetry of it. What once blocked light now holds it, bursting with flowers, joy, and a new story. And just wait till you see what we do with an old picture frame. It turns an ordinary vine into a blooming work of art. Tip 2, herb wall with hanging tins. Have any leftover soup cans lying around? Or maybe some empty coffee tins you couldn't quite throw out? This next idea is all about turning those kitchen cast-offs into something both beautiful and practical, a vertical herb wall right on your fence. Start by removing any labels and giving the cans a gentle sanding to help paint stick. Then paint them in cheerful garden shades, sunny yellow, sky blue, or even pastel pink. Don't forget to drill a couple of small drainage holes at the bottom of each one. Safety tip, sand down any sharp edges so everything's nice and smooth. Next, punch a hole in the back or attach sturdy wire loops so the cans can hang securely from fence hooks or screws. Line them up in rows, like little pockets of green. Then fill each one with potting soil and plant your favorite herbs, basil, thyme, parsley, even mint. For extra charm, use wooden tags or chalkboard labels to name each herb. As the sun hits your fence, the aroma of fresh herbs will float through the air. Every time you brush past, you'll catch a whisper of rosemary or lemon balm. Best of all, they're right at arm's reach, no kneeling, no weeding, just snip and season. This isn't just decoration, it's nourishment. A fence that cooks with you. A wall that gives back. Tip 3, mirror on the fence. Got an old mirror that's too small for the house? Maybe it hung in a hallway once, or sat quietly in a corner, waiting for a place to shine again. Here's your sign, let it move outdoors and sparkle in your garden. Find a frame that can weather the elements, treated with sealant, or even a metal frame that's already a bit rustic. Clean the glass gently, and hang the mirror directly onto your fence using sturdy hooks or brackets. Place it across from a patch of flowers, or where the sunlight falls in the afternoon. Why a mirror, you ask? Because it does something magical. It reflects not just light, but life. It makes your garden feel more open, more alive, and even a little enchanted. That small stretch of fence suddenly becomes a window into something bigger. This trick is especially wonderful in smaller yards or side gardens. It creates the illusion of depth, of space, and gives your plants a little stage to perform on. And here's the gentle truth, a little reflection brings a lot of magic. It's not just about seeing more, it's about noticing what's already there. And speaking of seeing things differently, have you ever thought of turning an old picture frame into a trellis? You'll love this next one. Tip 4. Storybook Trellis Frame. Remember that ornate picture frame from the attic? The one that used to hold a wedding portrait or a watercolor painting? Well, it's time to bring it back, but not to a wall indoors, to your garden fence. Dust it off, give it a fresh coat of outdoor paint if needed, and mount it directly onto a section of your fence. Now here's the magic, let a vine grow through it. Morning glories, sweet peas, even climbing roses. As they bloom and curl through the frame, you'll begin to see what we mean by a living painting. It's like your garden is creating its own artwork right before your eyes. The frame gives focus, the flowers give life, and together they tell a gentle, growing story. You can even switch it up seasonally, frame spring tulips in pots beneath, then let fall mums take center stage later in the year. Add a small quote beneath it, like "Grow where you're planted," and your fence becomes a gallery of soul. Because here, flowers become brushstrokes on wood, and your fence becomes part of the masterpiece. And if painting is more your style, the next tip lets your creativity bloom with a little less mess and a lot more joy. Tip 5. Fence mural with stencils. Hands too shaky to paint a whole mural? You're not alone. But that doesn't mean you can't add bold beauty to your fence without the pressure of perfection. Enter garden stencils. You can find large, reusable ones online or even make your own with cardboard and a craft knife. Choose a simple design: vines, birds, flowers, or butterflies. Use spray chalk paint for a non-permanent option or outdoor acrylics if you want it to last. Secure the stencil on your fence with painter's tape, then spray or dab your paint through gently. When you lift it away, voila! You've created something bright, fresh, and full of charm. No need for a steady hand, no need for hours of detail work, just joyful, creative expression, one shape at a time. Do a whole section of repeating patterns, or just one beautiful flourish where the eye naturally lands. This is more than decor. It's self-expression. It's the joy of making something, even if your hands aren't as steady as they used to be. Because even the fence wants to tell a story, and yours is one worth painting. Tip 6. Hanging teacup planters. Teacups without saucers? We've all got a few tucked away. Maybe from an old set that's been slowly disappearing over the years, or that one pretty cup that's just too charming to toss. Well, here's how to turn those little treasures into something truly special, no cabinet required. Start by drilling a small drainage hole at the bottom of each teacup. Don't worry, you can do it gently with a diamond-tipped bit or have someone help if that feels tricky. Then, take a sturdy hook or decorative bracket and mount it onto your fence. Hang your teacup by its handle or set it securely onto a small mounted saucer or ring. Now fill each cup with potting soil and plant something sweet, think tiny succulents, cheerful pansies, or cascading alyssum. Let the blooms spill gently over the rim, like cream in your tea. As they grow, your fence transforms into a wall of whimsy. Each cup becomes a little vignette, a memory holder, a smile giver. This isn't just decoration. It's nostalgia. It's that warm, familiar feeling of afternoon tea with someone you love. Because these are sips of beauty for your backyard wall, and joy, like tea, is best when shared. Are these ideas sparking your imagination yet? We've still got a few more treasures to share, including one that turns broken china into a heartwarming mosaic masterpiece, and another that transforms an old shoe rack into a vertical flower wall. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Tip 7. Broken plate mosaic fence strip. Cracked heirloom china, can't throw it out, can't use it? You're not alone. Whether it's a plate from your wedding set or a chipped dish passed down through the years, those pieces still hold meaning. And now, they can hold beauty, too. Carefully break the plates into smaller pieces, wear gloves and take your time. Arrange the shards into a mosaic strip running vertically or horizontally along your fence. Use outdoor tile adhesive to secure them to a painted backing board or directly onto the wood if you prefer a more rustic look. Grab between the pieces, wipe clean, and let it cure. Choose colors and shapes that tell a story, maybe blues and whites from your grandmother's dishes or floral prints from your own first kitchen set. Add glass beads or mirror fragments to catch the light. When you're finished, you won't just have a decorative piece, you'll have a memory wall. A little timeline of your life, built from things once broken. Because sometimes, shattered things can still make a masterpiece. And in the garden, nothing is ever truly wasted. Tip 8. Fence shelf with garden ornaments. What do you do with small trinkets and ceramic birds, the kind you find in thrift shops or hidden in old moving boxes? You give them a home, right on your fence. Start by attaching a narrow wooden shelf, about 10 to 15 centimeters deep, along a clean stretch of your fence. You can stain or paint it to match your outdoor style, then seal it to handle a bit of weather. Now decorate. Add small statues, stone mushrooms, solar lanterns, a little gnome peeking out, or maybe a photo frame with a laminated quote. Rotate them with the seasons or tuck tiny flower pots in between. Each item tells a piece of your story. Maybe a tiny windmill reminds you of a trip to Holland. Maybe that frog figurine makes the grandkids giggle every time they visit. Your fence becomes more than a barrier, it becomes a shelf of shared memories, a ledge of light and laughter. A perch for memories and moss, a place where even the smallest things can feel seen. Tip 9. Recycled bed frame trellis. An old iron bed frame in the garage? Maybe it's from a guest room long gone or a childhood set you could never quite part with. Don't toss it, transform it. Clean off any rust and give the frame a new coat of outdoor spray paint, something classic like black or playful like pastel blue. Then, bolt it vertically to your fence, just like you would a large trellis. Train climbing plants, clematis, jasmine, even beans or cucumbers, up through the metal bars. You'll be amazed at how quickly they take to their new support. As the vines grow, the bed frame vanishes under a curtain of green. But if you look closely, you'll still see the graceful lines of its headboard or footboard peeking through, a little reminder of its past life. This tip is perfect for adding both structure and story to your garden. It's sturdy, poetic, and delightfully unexpected. Because where dreams once rested, flowers now rise. Tip 10. Pegboard tool and planter wall. Ever forget where your trowel went? Or spend 10 minutes searching for those pruning shears you just had in your hand? Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. That's why this next idea is both beautiful and practical, a pegboard right on your fence. Start with a standard wooden or metal pegboard, the kind you'd find in a workshop. Mount it securely to your fence at a height that's comfortable for you. Paint it in a color that blends with your garden or makes your tools pop, soft sage green, sunny yellow, or even a calming blue. Now add hooks, baskets, and containers. Hang your gloves, spades, scissors, watering nozzles, seed packets, everything you use most. You can even hang small potted herbs or trailing plants to soften the look. It's a vertical workstation and a living wall all in one. No more rummaging through drawers or garden sheds, everything is right there, neat, visible, and within easy reach. Because sometimes, the smallest changes bring the biggest ease. Everything in reach, nothing out of place. But if you want something softer, more floral, and even easier to put together, you'll love what we do next with a fabric shoe organizer. Tip 11. Fence pocket garden with hanging shoe organizer. Still have that old fabric shoe rack from years ago? The kind that used to hang on the back of a closet door? Here's a gentle twist. Take it outside and turn it into a vertical pocket garden. Choose one made from canvas or waterproof fabric. Attach it to your fence using nails, hooks, or zip ties, and make sure it's secure. Then, fill each pocket about halfway with quality potting soil. Now comes the fun part, planting. You can go with herbs like basil and chives, cheerful blooms like marigolds or violas, or even small succulents. Each pocket becomes a mini garden bed, right at eye level. The best part? No bending. No heavy pots. No digging in hard ground. Just joyful planting, perfect for patios, balconies, or even narrow walkways. And the look? Utterly charming. It's like a blooming patchwork quilt on your fence, colorful, fragrant, and full of life. A bloom for every step you've taken, and a gentle reminder that with a little imagination, even the simplest things can grow into something beautiful. We've turned old mirrors into magic, broken cups into beauty, and forgotten bed frames into blooming trellises. We've taken the cast-offs of life, shutters, tins, teacups, and made them part of something growing, something gentle. Because gardening in our golden years isn't about perfection. It's not about keeping up or doing things the right way. It's about pausing, remembering, and creating spaces that make our hearts feel full. Sometimes, the fence isn't the end of the garden, it's the beginning of a story only you can tell. If just one of these 11 ideas brought a smile to your face, give us a gentle thumbs up. It helps more garden lovers find us. And tell us in the comments, which tip made you think, yes, I could do that. And don't forget, subscribe to Golden Seniors Living, where your creativity keeps blooming, your memories take root, and your garden becomes a place of joy, one fence at a time.